All right, so I want to take you through something today that I'm genuinely proud of. This is a real brand, real numbers, real timeline, and I want to be specific because I think the way most people talk about results is vague on purpose. They show you the revenue number and they skip the part where they actually explain how it is actually happening. So today I'm going to stand here and walk you through exactly who and what was broken when this brand came to us, what we changed, when we changed it, and what is the reason for the results. Let's get into it. So this brand first got on a call with us. Here is what this situation looked like. They were doing somewhere between $20,000 and $30,000 a month. Not a bad number. This is a real brand with real customers and a real product, but the revenue was inconsistent. Some months were closer to 20, some were closer to 30, and they could not figure out exactly why. There was no predictability and there was no real understanding of what was driving the difference between a good month and a bad month. When we looked at the marketing breakdown, here is what we found. Almost everything was coming from two places: organic content and SMS through Attentive. The organic was working because this brand had a genuine following and their content resonated. The SMS was working because they had built a decent list and Attentive was doing its job. But there was no paid traffic, none. No meta ads, no Google ad strategy beyond what was essentially running on autopilot. No structure around when they were sending emails, how often, what the segmentation even looked like. Some drops have a couple of emails supporting them, some would have more, or they would lean on a viral post and hope that it would carry the month. There was also no real retention infrastructure in terms of the flows in place. The basics were there, but they were not optimized and they were not being treated as a revenue channel. So the picture is a brand with genuine momentum, a real customer base, good organic presence, but no system. Everything was reactive. When something went viral, it was a great month. When nothing went viral, it was a slower month. And that is a dangerous place to be because you are essentially at the mercy of the algorithm. The first thing we did was not launch paid ads. And I want to be clear about that because a lot of people assume you turn on paid traffic and the revenue jumps. That is not how this works. Because we spend $1 on ads, we need to make sure that the foundation is right. Because if you send paid traffic to a broken funnel, you are just spending money to expose problems. So week one was a full audit of specifically the Shopify store, conversion rate, product pages, checkout flow, mobile experience. We are looking at where people are dropping off and why. The brand had a 2.5% conversion rate, which is decent, but we knew there was room to improve it. Small changes on the product page, better social placement, a cleaner checkout experience. Nothing dramatic, but meaningful. We also went into email and SMS setup and mapped out what was there, but also was missing. The welcome flow existed, but it was short, and it was not doing the job of converting new subscribers efficiently. The abandoned cart flow was there, but it was one email. The post-purchase flow was essentially just a shipping confirmation. There was no win-back flow at all. So week one, we rebuilt all of this. No welcome sequence, proper abandoned cart sequence with 3 emails and SMS. Post-purchase flow with cost cell built in, win back, targeting anyone who had not purchased within the last 60 days. We also spent week one going deep on creative, looking at everything they had: organic content, product photography, customer photos, building a testing bank so that when we launched ads, we held enough creative to actually learn something quickly. By week 3, the foundation was solid enough to start running paid traffic. We went into Meta and built the account structure from scratch. Testing campaign, scaling campaign, retargeting campaign. We entered the testing phase with a clear hypothesis about what this brand's audience responded to based on the organic content that was already performing. We were not guessing. We held data points from months of organic content telling us what retargeted, what resonated, and we used that to inform the first round of creative tests. It's so important that you know exactly who you're even trying to target, right? If you are just running ads for the sake of running ads, it's not going to go to the right people. The first 2 weeks of paid ads was really about learning. We were not spending big, even with a brand that has a good budget. We were gathering data, finding out which hooks worked, which audiences responded, and what the cost per purchase looked like before we committed to actually scaling. This is the part of paid advertising that requires patience, and most people skip it because they want results. Good results do not come fast. Good results come over consistency of understanding how you're getting those results. If you rush this phase, you end up scaling something that does not actually work and you burn through the budget very quickly. By the end of week 5, we had clear winners, in the testing campaign. 2 of 3 creatives that were outperforming everything else by a significant margin. We were moved into the scaling phase at this point and started to push the budget. At the same time, the email and SMS flows we had built were running and we were starting to see the impact. The abandoned cart flow alone was recovering customers that would have been lost. The welcome sequence was converting new subscribers at a meaningful higher rate than before. So let me walk you through what the channel breakdown actually looked like by the end of Q1. Total sessions for the quarter was 107,000. Of the $1 million in revenue, the marketing attributed portion was around $450,000 across 2,000 orders. The rest came from direct traffic, returning customers, organic search, all that stuff that is natural result of a healthy brand. Attentive, the SMS platform, was the single highest converting marketing channel, $268,000 in attributed sales with a 3.62% conversion rate. That is retention infrastructure doing exactly what it is supposed to do. People who already know the brand are being engaged at the right time with the right message, and they are converting at a high rate. Direct traffic brought in $134,000. Google paid brought in $77,000 with a solid 2.8% conversion rate. Organic search contributed to over $30,000. And the Meta brought in $3,000 on 4.2K sessions. Now I want to talk about this specifically because on the surface, the number looks bad. And in terms of attributed revenue, it is, but what it is actually represents is a channel that is in the early stage. The pixel is learning. We are still testing. The retargeting audiences are building. Meta is a longer ramp than people expect. You're building an infrastructure in the first 30 to 60 days. The Meta contribution in Q2 will look totally different. That video will come as we wrap up Q2. The other number I want to talk about is the churn rate. 80% of customers in Q1 did not make a second purchase. On a $1 million quarter, that is significant retention opportunity. This is actually one of the primary focuses going into Q2 for this brand. The flows are in place now. The win-back sequences are running. The post-purchase cross-sell is live. Bringing that churn rate down even meaningfully is going to have a dramatic impact on revenue. I mean, we could be doing close to $5 million this quarter without recurring or requiring additional ad spend. So I want to be completely honest about what drove this result, because I think it is important to understand what actually happened here. This brand came in with something real. It had a good product, genuine following, customers who already loved what they were buying. We did not manufacture that. That was already there. And what we did was build a system around it. We made sure that the paid traffic had a foundation to land on before we turned it on. We rebuilt the retention infrastructure so that every customer who came through the door had a proper experience and a real chance of coming back. We created a testing framework for creative that meant we were learning quickly instead of guessing slowly. We did it in a way that was structured and intentional rather than reactive. The brands that get this are the brands that are not lucky. They are brands that had something real and got serious about the system behind it. And that combination was what creates a result like this. So if you're a brand owner watching this and you are in a similar position to where this brand was when they came to us, doing real revenue, real product, real customers, but no real system behind it, that is exactly the problem that we solve. Book a call with us using the link below. We will audit your brand completely for free. It's not a sales call, not a sales pitch, but really see if it is something that makes sense, watch you and walk you through exactly what we would build. And you can decide if it makes sense for you. No pressure, no hard sell, just a real conversation about what your brand is and what is possible. Outside of that, if you liked this video, please comment below other topics you would like us to break down. If you want us to get into more specifics of different case studies with some of our clients, please leave a like, please subscribe if you have not, and I will catch you in the next one.